Hey, football fans! I'm out and about this day after Christmas, and I hope your Christmas day was as good as mine was. I had a great one, but yeah, I'm here to talk about the NFC playoff picture and the scenarios hours before the first game of the playoff of the conference's picture starts. So it's pretty interesting. You know, the NFC is a crazy mess, but it's a fun crazy mess. So let's talk about where things stand in the conference. I guess here's the NFC playoff picture entering Week 17. Well, Week 17 actually started at Christmas, but those are AFC games. But here's how things stand. The Detroit Lions still hanging on to number one barely at 13-2. The Philadelphia Eagles at 12-3 right behind them. And at number 3, the Rams leading the NFC West all by their lonesome at 9-6. And number 4, it's the Falcons back in the division leaders column at 8-7 via tiebreaker. And then in the wild card standings, the Minnesota Vikings at 13-2, at 5, at 6, the playoff-bound Packers at 11-4, and holding on to the 7th spot, the Washington Commanders at 10-5. And as you can see, there are only 2 teams alive behind the playoff line because there were a lot of teams eliminated from the NFC playoff picture on Week 16. The Buccaneers and the Seahawks are the only ones left standing at 8-7. Of course, Tampa Bay is now behind the line via tiebreaker because Atlanta beat them twice, and Seattle is 1 game behind the Rams for the division. So these are the standings. This is the picture entering Week 17. And now let's look at who can get what in the conference. Detroit Lions, as I said, they're hanging on to that number 1 spot, but it's close. It's very close. They're tied with the Vikings, neck and neck, but and they're a game ahead of Philly. But they can get it all this week. If they win and the Vikings lose, they are number 1 in the conference, and the Vikings face these guys. Yeah. The Vikings face the Packers. Of course, the Packers can't win the division, but we can do the next best thing, ruin Minnesota's hopes. We're good at that. And as for the Lions, they're in Santa Clara against the 49ers in an NFC Championship rematch. That takes place on Monday Night Football. The Eagles had a chance to wrap up the division last week, but Jaden Daniels had other plans. Now, well, they can still do it. They still control their own destiny. All they have to do is win or tie to get it, or if Washington loses or ties, that's it. Philly hosts the Cowboys in Sunday's early window. So that should be pretty interesting, especially if Jalen Hurts is still out. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Rams are all alone in first place in the division. They picked up another game in Week 16 because the Seahawks keep falling. Seahawks lost back-to-back games at home. That's not good, but that's another story. But anyway, the Rams are 1 up, and they can get the West this week. A win, a Seattle loss or tie gets it done. However, there's this crazy thing. If both teams win, then the Rams are do a lot of scoreboard watching because they can still get the division if they clinch that strength of victory tiebreaker. So strength of victory is the combined record of the teams of all the opponents that the team has beaten. And I think they need 3.5 combined wins from I think it's Washington, Buffalo, the Ohio teams, San Francisco, and Minnesota. That's the list. But if the Rams end tied, Seattle just has to lose. And the Rams play on Saturday against the Cardinals, who are eliminated. Amazing how a quarterback change can change everything. The Falcons finally benched Kirk Cousins after a 1-4 stretch in 5 games and 1 touchdown to 9 picks in those 5. But it worked out. They beat down the lowly Giants, and Tampa Bay lost the wrong time. So we have a first place tie, and Atlanta tiebreaker. They swept Tampa Bay. So Atlanta controls their own destiny as far as win division. If they win out, they get it. But they could get it this week. A win and a Tampa Bay loss will get it done. Now, they have a tough game this week. The Falcons actually go on the road to face the Washington Commanders. And that's gonna be pretty interesting. Why? Here's why. The Commanders definitely helped their own scenario with their big win over Philly. Of course, they didn't clinch the spot that week, but they made things easier for them for this week. All they have to do is win or tie, and they're in after a 4-win season last year. And, Tampa Bay will also tie, will also get it done. And again, Washington hosts Atlanta. This week on Sunday Night Football. Now, it's kind of interesting because I would think Tampa Bay would actually want Atlanta to win. Here's why. So Tampa and Seattle are the only teams left behind the playoff line that still have a shot. Tampa picked the wrong time to lose Sunday Night Football, and Seattle's just going backwards. They've been an up and down team all year, but they were down at the wrong time. Now, they both have a chance. They both can win their divisions. Tampa just needs to win out, and Atlanta needs to lose one. However, Tampa has the plan B of getting the wild card, the 7th seed, but they need Washington to lose out and Tampa to win out. And like I said, Tampa should not want Washington to lose because they're playing Atlanta. Tampa's playing Carolina. That should be a cakewalk, but this is around that time where any given Sunday finally actually hits the season. And while Tampa has the option of getting the 2nd, 7th seed, Seattle doesn't. Their conference record is too fucked up. Washington has clinched a better conference record, so for Seattle, they need to win the division or else they're done again. They need to win out they need to win and hope nothing works in the Rams' favor, because if that happens, then we get Rams and Seahawks in the final week, winner take all, and that'll most likely end the season. So anyway, that is the NFC playoff picture, and my story on Vocal about it is on the link above. Check it out where you can. So on that note, if you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. I'll be back to recap week 17 later on, once it's over, and get you ready for the final week of the season and the great storylines that come with it, hopefully. So stay tuned.